Good morning. With the ducks, we're going to explore what's going on here at Prosperity Homestead. We're going to answer a few of the questions that have come in from subscribers. And this is something that we're going to kind of get some things straight. First off, I'm Justin Hitt with Prosperity Homestead. This is a demonstration homestead that's part of a course. So this is actually a set. So I know a lot of you guys are talking about fake homesteaders and stuff. This is actually a set. This property has been designated as a demonstration site, and we spent a lot of time recording videos for paid members of a membership site where we help get your homestead up and running in 12 months or less at break even or better. What does that mean? That means that all the money you put out to get your small farm up and running, you're going to get that money back within 12 months or less. Now, that does mean we spend less money and we do it very affordably and we do it with an entrepreneurial mindset. We're about to see a duck-chicken fight here today as that duck realizes his wings are clipped and can't just take off and fly. We're giving them a little space this morning outside of their containment, which is really full of duck poo. So let's start out first. So we have a membership site, and those who join the membership site get first priority when it comes to asking and getting answers to questions about homesteading challenges. For example, if you're removing a structure, how do you remove that structure so that it's a capital expense and it can be written off on your taxes as an offset to any income for the property? And then with that question, how do you make money with your land so that you could actually have income to offset taxes? So we're like gentlemen farmers. We're building farms for families. We're building retreat centers. We're building hunting lodges. We're building family estates as well as homesteads. And in that, we do demonstration videos. So for example, these are off-grid cabins. And so we're helping people in the off-grid cabin program actually build their off-grid cabin, not just watch a whole bunch of YouTube videos about off-grid cabins. Stop dreaming, start doing. Now, with that said, can you visit here? Are there classes here? Are there opportunities for you to come here and do hands-on work? No, they're not. Now, there's a hip camp listing that we allow some folks come here typically after they've been screened. And if you are a client or you're a van lifer or you're a homesteader or you're a YouTube marketer, then yeah, you might be able to come here and camp and kind of get a tour, but we're not doing classes here. And the reason why is because there are way better, more mature locations in this area. This is showing you what it's like to get your homestead up and running. This one is, the land has been under our management for a little over a year, and we're building out animal systems. We're building out the corral systems, the food systems. We're going to have some very minor gardens here, but there's a place right down the road in Ridgeway, Virginia that has 10 years worth of investment, and it's set up and you can see the finished result. So this is showing you what it's like to get started. And we're going to talk about animal behavior things. Like, for example, if I walk behind these ducks, I'm going to walk behind these ducks. It's going to move the ducks away from the fence line, more towards the center brush over there. And this is important because if you were going to keep these ducks from wandering off your property, the corralling activity can get them back into their corral should these chickens decide to start ganging up on them. So we're going to talk about stuff and we're going to demonstrate things here. But there's no sense you coming out here for a class. You can come out here to work, and we hire people to work from time to time, and we have teams of people. We do like a permaculture blitz. But the actual classroom time, the actual education and training, there are way better teachers that I can refer you to come and learn. And so we don't need you to come here. It gets in the way of doing actual work. In fact, a lot of times the videos get in the way of me actually doing work. But my point being is that online we have a newsletter, we have hundreds of podcast episodes, we have Q&A sessions, we have webinars. And from my perspective, what I do is I help ecotourism locations and subject matter experts, including those in the permaculture and regenerative agricultural areas. I help them create courses, materials, reports, I help them market their businesses and locations. So I don't need you to come out here. You can certainly go to many of these other client locations or other locations that are, again, well equipped to serve your needs for hands-on education. It's very important. Now we got some chicken action coming on here. First chicken called the other chickens over and said, look, there's some ducks here, and those ducks are in our territory, and we don't want them to get to our local scratch. So you're going to see the evolution of this particular property. You're going to see the animals. You're going to see how we design things. You're going to see the methodologies. But again, there aren't any classes here. Now, we had designed, so one of the things that I do as a copywriter and a marketer is I design courses, and I had designed a sleep course, meditation camp type course that we were going to conduct here, but you can actually hear road noise from here. So it's not as quiet and serene as it needs to be. But again, this is about showing you that you can do this. I'm doing it. And that even in some cases, like the off-grid goats program, by the way, the links to all these programs will be in the description below. But you can even see that in our off-grid goats program, I'm actually a reporter reporting on my success while I work with a couple mentors that are really helping me get that system straight. And so again, I want to show you that I'm a marketer, I'm a copywriter, I'm a technical writer, I'm a risk management professional. I tend to sit in front of the computer all day long. I tend to write and do those things, teleconferences and webinars and talking with the corporate office. I'm just showing you that you can do this too. I land containers. I manage, using my project management skills, I manage construction equipment and stuff to come in here. I don't actually own any equipment. In fact, for this particular site, we don't intend to have anything bigger than a BCS tractor. So we want to run this site with a bicycle, with some hand tools, and at most some kind of mower to mow the grass out. Right now we got an old beat up riding lawnmower that does okay. But again, to answer that question, yes, I'm offering courses online, and I'll be very transparent in pointing out those courses, and I'll show you the value of those courses. But I'd rather bring in an expert. See, if you're out there trying to do this on your own, it's going to be very, very difficult. But if you do like I did, and you start cultivating and bringing in other people, and you start bringing in experts and surround yourself with people who know what the hell they're doing, then your life is going to be much easier. Now, I had a question about this chicken here. These chickens have this little pinning coming out here on their neck. And this morning I thought, oh my gosh, something's gone wrong. A lot of people get concerned like that. These chickens are actually molting. So their feathers look kind of rough. I'm going to make sure they're doing well by making sure they get enough food, and they have a low stress environment. But ultimately, here's what they do most of the day. They scratch and they clean up this area. We're building a corral here, by the way. So this is what the chickens have been doing. They've been scratching this all out. So, and they do follow me for some reason, because probably they want food. But again, we're talking about design. So right here is going to be another corral. And we're not talking about feedlot animals. Okay, so we don't want these corrals to get down to the soil. We want them to grow out every so often. We do some rotation and such as that. But we need a place for mamas when they're pregnant. And then we also need a place where I can bring in the buck and bring in the does, and they can get a little action going on. Bow, chicka chow, brown chicken, brown cows. We don't have any cows. Anyway, so I'm going to build another corral here, and this area is going to have temporary habitation of the goats when they're in the breeding cycles, and when we expand the ducks. So you can see the ducks are over there, and this is an island in the middle. And so the ducks can come in here and do their business. Sometimes the chickens will come in and do their business. We might or may not have pigs nearby, but this being a holding corral near our habitation, and by the way, nobody lives in these buildings right now. We're still building them out. We're going to have an area that we could later then use as a garden. Now, it doesn't get a whole lot of sun, but it is a space that can be used as a small garden, as well as when we get the baby goats together. And we'll show you those videos when the baby goats come. But again, we're showing you with limited space. This clearing is only 1.5 acres. And so what we're doing is showing you how to get the most out of this small space. Now, there are more acres. Some folks have asked, how much land do you have? That's not really a question you ask farmers. I don't really consider myself a farmer as much as kind of an entrepreneur. And so I'll just say that it goes beyond these woods. So one of the goals we have in the next couple of months, once we're on the property more frequently, like today, I stayed the night here because I had come in late to feed the animals. And I'm here early in the morning. It's pretty early in the morning. But we let everybody out to kind of do their thing. But again, beyond these trees, we want to set out some paddocks. So I have some goals today. Folks ask about how do we stay on task? Because again, I'm disclosing to you that raising these animals is not my full-time thing. Okay, I'm doing copywriting for clients. I'm helping experts position themselves in the marketplace to demonstrate their authority. I'm helping them create courses. I'm editing videos sometimes. Not my videos, but I've definitely editing intros and setups. Oh, we've got about that chicken action. We're about to see some battles here. And then this is where I step in to get in between these two and walk that chicken off. That's inappropriate behavior there, young man. Walk that off. So that's one of the reasons I'm standing out here, to make sure the ducks feel safe coming out here to graze. They've been here, I don't know, a couple weeks now. But while keeping them from getting attacked by the chickens, because 3 chickens had actually held down one of the drakes and was attacking it. So again, okay, so we're showing you that you can do this not part-time. This is an integral part of my day-to-day life, managing this particular property, but also helping clients manage and set up their property. But you can do this with systems and project management. And some folks had said, hey, do you have a project management methodology? And I do. I actually do, because we teach peak performance in the other websites that I manage, or the other parts of the business. So there is a business. The other parts of the business include coaching and consulting for subject matter experts and entrepreneurs who want to gain greater leverage in the marketplace while they create and keep profitable customers. And so one of the things I have is a list. Like, I'm here today. What am I going to be working on today? So we're going to put it right there where the chickens are standing. We're going to put in a fence, a gate, and then I'm going to build out a fence for part of this section so that we can start getting this corral in order, because Chocolate wants to get himself some. And so I got Chocolate and then 2 does. It's a little bit late to be doing this, but the does keep going into heat, and I want to make sure that they get what they want and that these bucks get what they want. And because the bucks get a little excited when they can smell those does. You can see the fence in the middle there is a bit torn up. Oh my gosh, look at that. It's a bit torn up because those boys are fighting each other through the fence. So I want to move them over here where they can see each other having sex, and hopefully get our, they have to be out here for as long as 60 days. At least till the does lose interest in the bucks. But ultimately, that needs to happen, and I have basically an index card. So I take a larger inventory of what needs to be done. I identify which projects are priority, and then I get specific tasks done each day. Now, what's priority right now is to downsize, is to get out of the property. That's part of our intentional thrift program. I live in a 3,200 square foot house that is way too big for me and the kid to be cleaning and taking care of. And I like to convert that into cash. And so we also have demonstrative programs that are built on lifestyle. Probably 20 years ago, we did some downsizing to simplify our house and, location close to work. I think I ended up writing a course about that for my clients at the time. And so we're just going to expand that course. So really, when you're asking the question, how do you get things done? I got a system for it. Do things always get done in a timely fashion? Not necessarily, not as fast as I'd like it to get done, but things are getting accomplished, and they're happening because I only focus on like 3 or 4 things a day that are high priority based on a larger set of projects. So I have this big list of projects, and then those projects each have milestones and deliverables, and then the milestones and deliverables have tasks, and then I roll it all up and I say, well, today we're putting up a gate here because we're running out of time when it comes to the breeding cycle to make sure those girls are pregnant during the winter, but giving birth in the spring. They have a 5-month gestation, so we need to be aware of that, 5 or 6 months. Getting the ducks on board, because the ducks, the little ducklings in the front there, they aren't going to be able to lay eggs until spring, so 3 or 4 months. And then, of course, getting the rest of the household goods in the container there. Notice we got a new container because it's the stuff that we're going to sift and sort. Should be a little kitchen area in there. And then, of course, getting the cabin office finished, which is in the middle of there, so that we can get back to work. Again, I primarily spend my time working for clients doing risk management, which includes writing technical documents and writing procedures and writing controls. Project management, which includes managing clients' documents, procedures, and controls, as well as course design and copywriting around promoting the thing that they do with those procedures, controls, and such. So I might be reading regulatory materials. I might have to go and do research or fly around the country and stuff like that. So I'm designing a homestead that can be managed simply and doesn't require a lot of day-to-day effort, yet provides good stewardship to the woods, to the animals, to the nature. So again, if you want that kind of system, maybe you're a professional and you're going to be working for the next couple of years. Maybe you're an independent consultant or freelancer. Maybe you're a professional and you're going to have a small farm, homestead, or estate. And now a small farm, again, has animals typically, or crops. A homestead might have a little bit of everything, but it's primarily focused on that household management. And then, of course, an estate is about wealth transfer and wealth accumulation. So again, I see every one of these animals as having value beyond just their meat value. For example, these roosters are turning over the biomass materials on the surface. You notice how they all perked up when the birds start going. That usually means that there's a hawk nearby. And so I'm going to keep an eye on stuff out here. But again, the chickens have production value. The goats have value clearing the woods out. The ducks have value laying eggs and providing meat and eating insects. The goats, baby goats, have value just being interesting. These bucklings have value because they're going to become meat. Now, ultimately, because they're going to serve me by becoming meat, right? They're still cute. They will actually need to be taken care of very well. So again, we're talking about good stewardship. We're talking about healthy environments. We're talking about establishing priorities. Like, it's more important to me right now to get these areas set up and to get these goats out into other corrals than it is to fix the hay barn over there. So as long as the hay is dry, that serves the value to the goats, which the goats maintain health, which serves the value to their long-term use, their long-term need. Now, again, I care deeply for these animals. I know their meat. I know that bothers some people, but our approach here is free market, family first, environmental awareness, and culture. So we're not going to have so many animals that we're going bare dirt. We're not going to have animals under a lot of stress. In fact, I'm going to move up here in the sun since it's kind of chilly. We'll talk about low stress by looking at these goats. Now, of course, I'm going to go over there and they're going to start baying and making noise because they always like to feed. They don't like to get eaten, but we make that as painless as possible. We raise these goats following halal or staying aligned with kosher so that they are as healthy as possible. They have low stress, high quality environment, and they get to do the things that they want to do until now these are milk goats, so they're not going to get processed, except for that buckling that's sniffing everybody's butt. And so they are going to provide milk, and that's how they add value to the property. So I think a key function of what we're talking about here, it's very important to your farm, is that we're not a petting zoo. That's why we don't have visitors and guests. Every animal has a purpose, and if it's not contributing to the long-term value of the farm or the homestead, then it's got to go. So those bucklings that buckling is castrated, and right now he's harassing these girls. So I have a priority to get him out of here so he's not harassing the girls, and we'll have a small herd of castrated bucks. And now when they go out in the woods, we'll have bucks with some of the does that are not in milk or not pregnant. And that way we'll have some of the girls in milk. And I've been very relaxed about milking because the girls are, we only have 2 of them with milk right now. Oh, these guys are so cute. He's like standing on her back trying to get some food. But ultimately, I don't know where I was going with this, but basically they're all food. They're all food. They're either making food or making fertilizer or making meat. And a lot of folks don't like that. And if you don't like that, that's okay. You don't have to be a part of our community here. But again, this is more of an agrarian, free market enterprise society using permaculture ethic to care for these animals, to provide for these animals, to provide for the land, to provide for the soil biology, to provide for the humans that inhabit this space, and to do so in a way that is constructive, that it's additive to the environment, not subtracting from the environment. We used recycled containers to store things. We're being careful about the plastics we bring onto the property. In fact, it has to be high density polyethylene and designed for outdoor long-term use, or we're not going to bring it on the property. Yeah, we're slowly removing a lot of stuff. And then ultimately, I always get distracted when I come over here at the goats to see what they're doing. Like every time we feed them, we health check every goat. And so that means I can't have too many goats. I can't have a big herd of 30, 40 goats out here if I'm going to health check them every time we feed them. That's every day. And sometimes we get distracted and play with them, right? Come out here and give you neck rubs and stuff. Because again, happy goats will make happy milk. And again, that's the structure of what's going on here. So it's a functioning and operating farm. That's why we don't have guests. If we do have guests, we're going to screen you first. So you're going to be a client, paying client. You're going to be self-contained. We don't have housing for you. There's no Airbnb here. And ultimately, we'll probably talk shop. So one of the things that I'm looking to do in the next couple of months is that there are a few clients that want to come down and talk about their website, talk about monetizing their back catalog because they've got podcasts or they've got a bunch of recorded speeches they want to monetize, building a book for authority. We've got folks that want to come over here. Again, you don't need to come here. They just happen to be passing through town. But because we can do a lot of this stuff online with video and webinar, we're equipped. We're equipped out here to do webinars and video conference calls and such like that. But they're going to come out and talk about getting their courses together. And then I got a few on the schedule that we're going to talk about business optimization. So building the profitability of an existing business so that they can get to higher profitability. And then I've got a handful of folks that we're talking about disaster recovery. As you may know, within an hour of here in Asheville, in Mount Airy down to Asheville, North Carolina, they've had some devastation. But what you may not realize is that has happened from Ohio all the way to Florida. So we have a bunch of pro bono work and group coaching programs where we're talking about how to recover quickly from a natural disaster, how to get back to base before you can get to profitability in 12 months or less. And again, so we got a busy schedule. So if you've got questions, ask them in the comments below, or visit www.prosperitihomestead.org. Actually, it'd probably be better to visit www.justinhit.com and then go to the contact page to ask your questions. Thank you so much for the questions that come in via the contact pages, because that really gives me better context about what we should be focusing on. And that's what I'm going to leave you with. There is an importance of focus. Okay, it's very easy to pick up a bunch of animals. We've got 5 ducklings and 2 drakes. It's just as easy to get 10 ducklings and 20 drakes. The drakes are meat birds. The ducklings are going to lay eggs. We started with 8 roosters. It's just as easy to replace the roosters as it is to have the roosters, because again, we have systems in place, but we have to have priorities. We have to have priorities and focus. So there are things that haven't been done that are in the queue, and those things I'll be working on. And so again, you can't just show up here. If you show up here, you will be trespassed. If you just show up without me knowing you're coming, you'll be trespassed. We do have bears and bobcats and coyotes and stuff. So there are people walking around here with firearms, because if we had a coyote come up here to get some animals, we're going to have to dispatch it. And then I guess the last point is that most of what I do, I can do on the other end of a webinar. So think about this. You could be living this lifestyle that's more environmentally friendly, that's more conducive to long-term economic states or changes in the environment, that's actually healing land through regenerative practices, and you could still work your office job. See, I know they're trying to get you to return to the office because they don't want you to have this, by the way. They don't want you to be able to feed yourself. These chickens could just as easily be hens laying eggs. And of course, the ducks are going to be laying eggs. And then, of course, these roosters were very low cost because a lot of egg producers don't need the roosters. And so these are stew chickens. We got a good breeding. Oh, I know. You smell some of those girls over there. We got a good breeding boy. You've been cleared for breeding for like a couple weeks now. And I know you want to get on with it. And so again, this is a different approach. I guess it's not different if it was 1860s, but this is a different approach that's going to help with a lot of things that I want to do in my life, right? I want to simplify. I can't live in a city and do this fun stuff. And so again, thanks for watching. Thanks for the update. I'm going to send this out to subscribers first so that you guys know what's going on. Because a lot of times when you call in or you really want to do a coaching assignment or you want to do some consulting or something like that, and I just tell you, I'm not available. That's why I'm making recommendations. That's why I make referrals. For example, I've got a bunch of podcast folks that can run your podcast and keep your stuff up and running. I've got some webmasters that can manage your things. I can help you with a plan, and then I can give you the people to implement the plan. But as far as working with me directly, that time is very limited. And so now all the animals are confused why I'm standing here and not feeding them. And so I'm going to wrap it up. Thanks for watching. I'm Justin Hitt with Prosperity Homestead. That's this set. Prosperity Homestead, how to get your homestead up and running in 12 months or less and break even or better. And then my consulting company is JWH Consolidated. We're at www.justinhit.com. You can see my professional portfolio. And of course, my preference is doing the risk management work. I do that for Fortune 100s. I do that for $10 million plus service organizations. And we cover compliance from risk management in areas of privacy, e-commerce, your canned spam mailing list stuff. We cover compliance associated with anti-money laundering, preferential campaigns, the politically sensitive individuals, Oh, the list just goes on. Anyway, ask your questions in the comments below in general. I hope this has given you some background. No, you can't come out here and hang out with me. It doesn't work that way. But you can pay me a lot of money to help you create and keep profitable customers and help you do projects with a very tight break even and high levels of results. I've helped clients create more than $1 billion in the last 20 years or so. And I can help you get results even in poor economic times. Because again, we have methods and systems to get this done. What I don't have is a method to keep, see that chicken is now separating the two groups. And so I'm gonna walk out this way and I'm gonna walk the ducks back in. And then as soon as I can, I'm gonna walk between the ducks and the chicken, because that's behavioral psychology. Anyway, we go into all kinds of details here. Thanks for being a part of the channel. If all you want to do is support the channel, be sure to like and subscribe. But even better, ask your questions so you can implement this stuff. I'm a regular guy and I'm having a great time doing this, and you could too. Probably less the video, that's distraction, but ultimately, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. I'm Justin Hitt with Prosperity Homestead.